I'm rolling here. It is hot,
It's really hot.
like unseasonably warm right now.
It's Canada is heating up, let's say.
Yep. Yeah. We're all gonna melt in our big melting pot. Whoa. Okie doke.
Cutesy.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Woody.
This is the ISOcast. Been a while.
It has been.
Everything okay?
Lots has changed, I think, since the last time we did a show.
We have some catching up to do. I gotta say, you and all of my fellow compadres in Ontario, you're going through what we did early, right? We shut her down back in January. You guys are now having to shut her down, and you're still in it. I'm so sorry. That's tough.
You've been through this. You're the veteran. You maybe on the other side, but yeah, we're late to the game as usual.
I went out and I bought some cushions for my deck, and I sent the picture to my mom because I bought them with a gift card she gave us like 2 years ago, and she's like, "Where did you go shopping?" I'm like, "Oh, right." I forgot. That sucks. That sucks.
Yeah, you're inside a store, four walls, in which you don't live in. What's that like?
So, okay. Do you want to start with the jabs?
Yeah.
So, okay, you first. You went first. You got it first.
I got mine first. So so Ontario's doing, because clearly I'm not like of the demographic that at the time was like really rolling in the vaccine. Now I think it's open to everybody, but Toronto's doing these hot spots mobile clinics, and I was able to get into one and get my Pfizer jab.
So, okay, not to be creepy, the neighborhood that you are in is, I'm guessing, inundated with cases. Is that what defines you as a hotspot?
So, it's a good question. I don't know what a hotspot is, and there seem to be there seem to be neighborhoods that are defined as hotspots that shouldn't be, and then vice versa as well. But I don't know what the numbers are. Maybe I did something. You tell me if you think this was unethical or not, because the neighborhood that I live in is not. However, my driver's license says that I live in a neighborhood that I don't live in.
Right.
So I was able to go to another neighborhood, to a mobile clinic, and get my jab.
I'm not going to judge the ethics of that, honestly. However, because I know people directly who just went to the States and got their first dose. They just did that, because they're like, whatever, I can't wait. Or I'm already going for work, and they just pop into the CVS and they get the shot and they go on home. So, who am I to judge? I don't know. I mean, in the end, everybody gets it.
Everybody, I hope so. That's the plan. And I wasn't jumping the line in terms of age or anything else. And it was, I think it's been a while since we did a show. We talked about the Vax Hunters on Twitter, and and I felt better about it because the place where I got it, by the end of the day, they were basically saying it's open to literally anyone. Go there. If you can get there in the next 2 hours, go, because they have these leftover ones that they're not going to use. So get there and get it done. So
it doesn't sound like you were taking an opportunity away from someone who needed it more to get their shot, right? So there's my ethical judgment of it is you're fine. Don't worry about it. Well, congratulations. Did you?
Thank you.
I know that you weren't vaccine shopping, but I understand you got Pfizer, right?
It was Pfizer. Yeah, most people in Ontario, maybe in Quebec it's the same, are getting Pfizer now. That's the one that's just coming in a lot. And totally cool. 15-minute wait period, I guess. All good. The next day, like a bit of a sore arm in the muscle, but really no ill effects whatsoever. So feeling good. Yep. That was about 2.5 weeks ago. So I guess I'm technically fully inoculated from the first one. And then tentatively, I'm going back in August to get the second one.
What do you mean tentatively? What does that mean? Like you don't have an appointment?
I don't have an appointment. They're going to text me.
Oh. That doesn't sound.
They said we'll text you in August, and then you can come back. So okay, well,
we who who who's we?
The lady that I registered with said
I guess the
Health Ministry of Ontario is going to text me. I gave my phone number,
Oh.
and they said, "Would
It's
you?"
got to be Ontario Health.
It's got to be. Prefer contact by email or by text? And I said, I don't know. Just text me. I guess that's fine.
Both. I would say both.
But Ontario is doing, unless they change it, they're doing 12 weeks. Yeah, both 12-week intervals. So
Okay. Well, I mean, hey, one's better than none. So congrats. And I understand now your premier has his own kind of agenda, this path to reopening that Ontario follows now. Is that right?
maybe. I'll be honest, I haven't
Maybe.
really been following. It's just, I'm kind of, I've stopped following him and the government. There's this couple of doctors on Twitter that I like, and I follow them, and they seem to do a good job of watering down and abridging all the information into, we've talked about layman terms, which is 99% of the population are not, don't really know how to interpret all these things, myself included. So it's good for me to go follow these guys and these ladies and kind of, okay, what do I need to know? What don't I need to know? This is good. Okay, fine. Let's move on. So there's a new thing. There's some charts. There's some things. Their opinion is that this is the first time the Ontario government is actually following science in this whole thing. So I will believe them in their interpretation of it. But I certainly don't know the ins and outs of the proposal. No.
Okay. Fair enough. I also have been vaccinated. I was fortunate enough in Quebec. They super opened it up. They had this kind of staggered age groups, and I don't think it was regional as much as it was based on age, right? So when it was like, hey, 40 and up, go ahead and book your appointments. We're like, all right, why not? We were vaccine shopping a bit. We're like, I don't think we really want an antiviral, right?
Okay.
My partner, she's in a risk group, and I don't care how low the risk is. Risk is risk. It's like, if we can choose, we'll choose. Thank you very much, right? And
it's low, but it's not
none.
that low when everyone needs to get it.
Yep.
So like whatever, pick a number. Well, someone's going to be the one.
Yep.
Right? Like,
I mean, look, you can make all the struck by lightning analogies you want, but so stay inside if there's a lightning storm. That's what I say. But in this case, we're also not exposed or exposing a lot of people, right? So we're kind of in that low risk category anyway.
you have an option.
So we're like, I think we can afford, and we knew the pharmacy that we happened to like, that was maybe 10 minutes from here, that they were handing out Moderna. We're like, ooh, okay. So I don't know what it's like in Ontario, but in Quebec, they have a ridiculously good system for getting signed up and getting vaccinated. Really good. They've got Click Santé.
I was going to ask you about that because, no.
We didn't have to go through Vax Hunters. We didn't have to go figure it out, right? It's just like you go to Click Santé, you put in your postal code, and it shows you a comprehensive list of all of the different pharmacies and vaccination centers within a radius of your place that are offering the vaccine. And to book it, you go in, you put in your health card number, your name, and you pick a time. And that's it. It sends you a text message instantly that you are confirmed for this the day before. It sends you a text message the day of. It sends you a text message when you get there. You show them your text message. They sit you down in 2 minutes. They give you the dose. They ask you to wait 15 minutes and they give you a receipt. And they tell you the exact time and date of your second dose. Have a nice day. Bonjour. Hi.
That's amazing. Amazing.
I mean, there's a few things Quebec does well. Poutine. Formula One.
You can buy your alcohol in the 7-Eleven.
Vaccines.
Vaccine.
We got it.
So you got the Moderna.
Yep, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, we knew we wanted an mRNA. We were like, I want that.
You didn't have to make any Viagra jokes while you were there.
We did not. We did not. And it was great. I mean, the lineup was the none, right? So there's a little waiting area and we got a shot and then we shopped the pharmacy and we went home. I immediately went to the gym thereafter, did some lifting, did some running, and, felt a little tender in my arm. But for the next 3 days, I mean, bad arm, like, woo, sore.
Right.
Like, I mean, really, really muscular sore, which was, I guess, good. I don't know. What do I know?
I mean, my partner who's in the medical field says that that's how it works. It gets injected into the muscle. So it makes sense. So, most people get it in the arm that if you're right-handed, you get it in your left arm, for example.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I had a slight headache the next day, nothing much. My arm was sore though. Like I couldn't sleep on it. I'd sleep on my other side, which I didn't think about before, but really like no effects. Did you feel tired? Did you feel lethargic, headache, anything like that?
The next day, I go for a walk almost every day, about an hour walk up through the hills and stuff. And that day I felt like not 100%. There's something I'm like, I feel like an 80. When you're sick, but you're not sick. There's like something's not 100% here.
I felt similarly. I was like, I kind of feel like aloof a bit. Like I can't put my finger on it. Like I don't feel sick. I don't feel weak. Like I just feel like I'm not quite all there. It was really strange. It's hard to describe.
Yeah. So I just got a 6-pack of beer and sat outside. It felt way better. Did
the same thing.
I hear the second dose is, we're going to get sick. We're going to really feel that one.
Fair enough.
But, I'll take it. Over death. I'll take it over death.
That's interesting because I like getting signed up here is like Wild West, basically in Ontario. It's like every man, woman, person for themselves, and getting it's available. Like the websites are there. You can call this number or do this, but like you never get through. The website crashes. The things are full. By the time you get, on the website, they're like, "Oh, sign up." All the spots are full. So once you get the appointment, it's like clinical. Like I showed up. There was a line. Go here. Do this. Sit here. Don't do this. Show this. Do this. Here's your jab. 50 minutes, and you're at like within a half an hour. I was in and out, including the 15 minutes like waiting time afterwards. So very, very like efficient. But finding the appointment it's like a job. Like my mom was texting me, people were texting me like, "Oh, here's this, here's that." And I'm like, I can't handle this. Like I'm working, like I'm doing other things. Like it was very stressful trying to find an appointment.
And that makes it hard for the marginalized communities, right? Those like, for example, who don't speak English well, or those who don't have access to a computer as readily, all the reasons. Like I gotta say, even in the US, it's hilarious how easy it is. I won't say directly who, but someone I know very well was there for work briefly and walked into CVS and said, "Hey, can I get a shot?" And they're like, "Yeah, go over here."
Yep.
Took a shot. Here's your CDC vaccination card. Have a nice day.
I've heard similar stories, and I've heard from people I know and friends who live south of the US border, and the southern states have, as they usually do, have come up with some good ideas, and there's something called vaccine tourism happening.
Whoa.
And because they have excess, right? Like, I think the US is at a point where the people who want it have got it, and the people who don't want it aren't taking it.
They're not going to get it, yeah.
So they've got all these vaccines, and people are coming in for the weekend, hotel, go out, get something to eat, to travel around a bit, and get a shot, and then go home. So I've heard that's happening as well.
That's crazy.
I think whatever. But when you're sitting here in Ontario and everyone's trying to sign up and get an appointment, and then you hear like, well, you just go down there and get one and have a little weekend out of it. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. And they're inviting Canadians to do it. Right. So like there is the temptation to go, well, why don't I just drive down to Vermont and find a Moderna and get my second dose in a couple of weeks?
That's the easy part. If you want to come back, Canada's making it difficult. That's the hard part, coming back.
Ish. Yeah. The land border makes it a little easy. But here's the fun thing, though, is if I look now, I'm going to open my text messages here. And I got Click Santé. Yes. So at, let's see, I got my first dose. And then on September 2nd at 10:10, here's the address and my confirmation number. Yep. For my second dose.
Ontario is doing that. I just wasn't the one. I guess the place I went to wasn't. But my brother got one about a week after I did. He's got a date and time. My parents have a date and time coming up in June. Other people do. I just don't.
It's funny because I hear that sort of mixed messaging in some people are like, I don't know when my second dose is. Some people do. But, I love to step back for a moment and go, it ain't even June and we got a shot in the arm. That's great.
It's like, let's look at it. Like now this is the next problem, which is still something to be worked out, but like, it's a problem that, okay, we've got people with the first one. Now we're trying to work on the second one. Like that is a good scenario, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're in the best case scenario right now. We're kicking the US's butt. for whatever that's worth. Largely, I'm guessing because people are just kind of done with it. Actually, that's not a guess. I've heard a lot of people directly reporting to me that they're, we're done with it. We've had enough. I still can't quite get that, but that's, folks who have not received even the vaccine. They're like, look, we're this is stupid. We're done with this thing. That's the way that they're going to handle it. That's enough.
Well, to each their own, I suppose. Right. I'm happy to get mine. So it hasn't changed how I'm going about my life because I'm still at home and whatever. But it is, I don't know about you, but it is a nice peace of mind.
Yeah. I mean, well, there is no lifestyle change at this moment, other than to say, I'm interested in how less transmissible it is now because we're vaccinated. I think that's almost as if not more important than, covering our own potential risk. So, we're not whipping on the masks and having an orgy here. That's not happening anytime soon. But we are, going to go through a pretty aggressive reopening plan here. So as of, I think, the 28th, we are now going to be opening up outdoor dining.
Oh, okay.
And bars, like going out and sitting on a terrace, a patio for all you in Toronto, and enjoying your cocktails and stuff outside. I understand that you can have outdoor gatherings now. You can have 2 households, maximum 8 people in your yard, right, for a couple weeks. And then it goes through phases all the way to about mid-July, I'm going to say. Please don't at me about this. But I think about mid-July, it's like, okay, here we go. We're good.
I don't know what the dates are going to be like, but we've done this show for just over a year, and this is the most optimistic, the biggest light in this proverbial tunnel that we've had, because in Ontario, they're saying 65% of adults have their first shot. That's a lot. I mean, that's huge. They haven't been vaccinating anyone under 18 at all until a few days ago, literally. Mm-hmm. So, they were saying, 45% of people in Ontario have their first shot, but that includes all of the minors that they haven't been open to. So eligible people are about 65%. So yesterday they did 200,000 doses in Ontario in one day.
That's insane.
I mean, I don't know what the end goal is, but if the end goal is to have everyone have one shot, July 1st seems like a very reasonable target, or sometime in the next very near future.
Well, I think, we're going to see our neighbors in the States, my estimation, just whip it all off July 4th. I think that's ultimately what they're going to end up doing, is saying that's enough. Happy America Day. Here, I think we're going to be on target for kind of the same sort of thing, but we'll likely be much more cautious than they will there. I am excited for the simplest of things, though, right now. We did what you guys are going through a couple months ago. So we've had our kind of retail has been open, outdoor sports never got canceled, that kind of stuff. Right. But I cannot wait to go and sit down and order a cold drink on a hot patio. I can't fucking wait.
I know.
That's going to feel so good when that beer hits my lips, man. And on the other side of the table is a person that I don't live with. That's going to be crazy. I don't even know what to say to you. Who are you? What do you want?
I was joking the other day. I think there's going to be some relearning, some muscle memorying of just talking to people that like strangers that you normally would every day, like at the bus stop, at the subway stop, at a restaurant, at a bar, just small talk that I haven't done in a year. So I think it's going to be interesting, the first interaction that happens.
We're going to have to be skittish, right? There's no way we're all going to be all of a sudden extroverted and feel comfortable.
No.
With, or even through phases.
So you're excited about going to a patio and having a beer, and I am as well. I think that would be awesome. And I kind of am on board with the slow reopening, because this is it, right? There's no more lockdown. Once we reopen, with the way the vaccine's going, this has to be the last one. People aren't going to stand for we're going back into lockdown again. This is the last one. So if you need an extra 2 weeks, take it. I think that's kind of where I'm at.
Right.
just to make sure that the vaccines get to whatever number that people are comfortable with. But I was half joking, but I think I'm half serious with Maya the other day about, there's going to be some traumatic effects of like, even when we know it's safe to go and hang out with people, and this is just for me, I'm still not 100% sure that I'm going to want to immediately.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take some time. And you do it once and then you remember that it's fun and you remember that it's great and you're going to want to do it again. But the first time, I think it'll take a couple times for me to get up to it.
I don't know if you see, like sometimes you see some things on television and it's a bunch of people all together without masks on. And I still kind of freak out. I'm like,
Yep.
whoa. What are you guys doing? I want to kind of run in there and break it all up, right? And I can only imagine, like, even when it's like, it's okay now to do that. It's not going to feel normal. There's just no way. We're going to have, I think, in June, our first guests over to our patio. Like we have we have a nice back, patio thing. So it's open air, nice and safe. Everyone's going to have their first dose in them. Province is saying, good to go. You guys can get together outdoors. So we're going to do that, right? And part of it is, I think, like anybody, we are likely going to have to go through this very rigorous, deep cleaning of our caves because as neat as we might keep it, I don't know about you. Like we haven't been keeping up like you would when guests are always coming around and stuff.
What are guests?
But also, like, as I visualize it, sitting alone on my patio, looking at empty chairs, imagining other humans there, unmasked, talking at me. Like, I almost kind of need to get like some stuffed animals and a therapist and practice these dialogues again, like to reintegrate into society.
It's a good idea. Yeah, because it's just, I don't know. Like, I want to. Like, I know that I want to, but it's just I have the same reaction that you have. On TV, you see people. I went into there's like this little restaurant thing near us, but it's not a restaurant. So it's like a kiosk. You go in, there's machines, and they have like 5 restaurants that you can order from in the back, and they kind of put your food in a bag, and they have the automated machines. And I went in there once, and I was out for a walk, doing some whatever, had my headphones on, AC/DC's going, completely in my own world.
Yeah.
Went in there, ordered my food, and after like 5 minutes of being in there, realized like I didn't have a mask on. I forgot. I totally forgot. And I felt like I ran outside.
That's horrifying.
Like
That's a bad dream.
out.
That's a nightmare.
And I felt terrible. And I was like, oh my God. And there was other people, and like 2 other people in there, they had masks on. They were just like, whatever. They didn't seem to care. But I completely spaced and was just like listening to my music and thinking about what I had to do the next day, like whatever, normal thoughts. And I was in there like, oh my God. And then it was just like a really, really strange feeling. I think the same feeling is going to happen when you invite people over or you get invited places. If you do the inviting, I think maybe you're there, but maybe when you get invited, it's going to be like a similar reaction. It's like, I know I want to, but I don't know that I want to.
Right. Well, I know they've made a couple plans, right? Without over planning, because you can't plan too much. One of them, I think, is a very reasonable plan. One of them was pretty stupid and impulsive. So one plan that I made was waiting until my parents have had their second dose. They have their appointment booked. And I'm like, okay, 2 weeks thereafter, I'm going to visit.
Good.
I'm getting in the car. I'm going over there to visit. I'll have had my first dose. They will have 2. The science leads me to believe that it would be reasonable to go and visit with my parents at that time. So that's plan number 1. And I think that's a pretty good plan. Plan number 2 is I bought 4 tickets to Hamilton in New York on Broadway. So,
okay.
Because, Broadway's open again. So I don't know, late September, I got 4 seats. So I don't know what I did. I don't know why. I do know why, but I don't know how that's going to pan out.
That's great. I mean, I see what you mean about one is like more than like, but that's the thing. Like, it should be normal to like fly to New York and see a show. Like, that should be that's a weekend, like a great weekend. That's a nice thing.
It is a great weekend. Yeah. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but I can tell you the show's going to happen. New York's going to be, we're going to roll.
It's all of, I think this is both positive and like in the middle of like, I think we're really close to the point where it's coming down to each individual's comfort with a certain situation and not necessarily like an overarching government policy regarding something. So once you have your first shot, it comes down to like, are you comfortable doing this activity or no? And I think people can make decisions for themselves. So if you're comfortable going to New York, I think you should. But if you have to pay $2,000 to come back home, then maybe not, right?
Well, I can say that, by then we'll have had our second dose, right?
Okay.
By a long shot. So that's number one. So I think we would have been vaccinated fully for 3 weeks at that stage. The government of Canada has always said by September, anyone who wants to be fully vaccinated will be. Mm-hmm. And that promise is held true. So I don't know what could possibly impede the reopening fully of the border at that stage when the majority of Canadians are fully vaccinated. The majority of Americans who are going to get it are going to get it. We can't keep our border closed indefinitely with the U.S. So I agree. I think there's a comfort level, but there's also the point where just like maybe that sensation of having walked into the store and realizing that you're not wearing your mask after purchasing the tickets and then thinking through what that's like to go to an airport, to get on a plane, to land in not Wichita, like New York, like it's busy, it's crowded, and then going to like Times Square and Broadway and seeing a show. It's like, that's a lot. And America, America. It's not going to be like, we're going to be like ultra safe and we're going to have all these measures and stuff. That's not going to be the case. No. It's just going to be jamming all the sardines into the theater. So I'm a little bit, I don't know what to feel. Fortunately, it's like 3.5 months away. So I got lots of time to think about it.
If it were me, I think if I'd had my second jab, I'd be fine with it. I think that's, I feel confident that they work. I feel confident that you've seen the numbers, even in Ontario, which were like over 3,000 a day, even like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Now today it was like 1,500. So you don't know what exactly that means, but I mean, they work. So for me, once I get my second one, I think I'm pretty comfortable. I hope I'll be comfortable, moving about.
I'm weirdly optimistic too about the economic outlook from this, because you would think with all of the, spending worldwide that this must lead to some sort of hyperinflation. You would think that there would be some sort of economic collapse just looming over us. But I guess with any fiat currency, right, aren't we also just going, if we all agree that, it's not really, doesn't matter, then does it matter? If we all agree it doesn't matter?
I think so. This is not, I'm certainly not an economist. I don't know much about this, but I've heard a lot of people say this, like recessions and downturns happen when we don't really know why. We know why.
Yeah.
It's right in our face. It's been in our face for 14 months. We know exactly why. So if people are selling or whatever because of, like, we know why they're selling. So I think it's easily, I'm not say easily, but I think it should be easily kind of reversible. And, I think I'm on board with you. I don't think that there's a lot of pessimism about the economy. I think things will come back slowly, but I think they will.
I don't think we're going to see this giant global recession. Honestly, I feel like, again, it's a collective agreement that we all just, again, I have no idea how economics works, but my feeling is, for whatever this is worth, is that as long as everyone plays by the same rule here, we're good. We're good. Businesses are going to start opening again. People go back to work, and we're going to go back to that shitty existence that we had on Earth.
What's the freshman 20? Is that what it is? Like the freshman, your grades drop by 20 and you gain 20 pounds in the first year of college. Is that the freshman 20? I think it's
I didn't go to college. I don't know.
The COVID 20. Like, I feel like we're all agreeing on a lot of things, and gyms haven't been open for a year, and a lot of us are lacking exercise, myself included. So I think we're all agreeing on, okay, we're just going to come out of this. We're all looking how we look, and we're just going to move forward, and we all agree on that. And I think this is just another one.
Yeah. For most of us here in Canada, we're fortunate enough as well to kind of, grin, bear it and move along. But I certainly feel for a lot of other folks that just, this is not the outcome for them, right? The economic fallout is super, super real. The business that they used to go to work is gone, or the the restaurant they used to, all these things just, they're not there anymore. So I think that I don't know, we have a pretty narrow view, right? Obviously.
No kidding.
But I mean, on a macroeconomic scale, it feels like, aside from maybe an overheated real estate market in Canada right now, there really isn't going to be any consequence to this ridiculous amount of spending.
I hope that's right. Because, I mean, I don't know, but I hope that's right.
I don't have any grandchildren who are supposedly going to pay for it, so who cares?
This has nothing to do, I know we're almost out of time, nothing to do with that, but I wanted to get this in here because I know you're a big Kids in the Hall fan.
I am a big Kids in the Hall fan.
And for the American listeners, this is a little bit off the board, but it's a bit before my time, so maybe you can describe what Kids in the Hall was/is, because they're rebooting it. But the big news is they're filming an episode at my parents' house.
This is insane. So the Kids in the Hall was a late 80s, 90s comedy troupe from Toronto. So a la SCTV, except it was kind of, it was super 90s. These guys were really, really edgy. And they were on CBC and they were great. I think they got picked up eventually in the States by like CBS or something when Lorne Michaels, also Canadian, was just like, hey, you guys are really funny. And they started airing in the States. So I was a huge fan because, again, the moment that I saw somebody on television, Hitler, rear-ending a donkey, I'm like, this is my kind of show. What is this? And I got hooked. So how in the world? First of all, I didn't know they were rebooting, which is great.
I didn't either.
But why are they doing it at your mom and dad's?
The neighborhood that they live in has been. They film. It's not uncommon to have movie sets there and TV sets there. Never at my parents' house though. It's always other houses. I don't know. I didn't have the whole story, but I guess what do they call them? Location scouts or something. We're cruising around and they're doing a garage sale scene.
Oh God!
In the driveway.
Oh God!
And they wanted X amount of money, or sorry, they were going to pay X amount of money to use the. And you think normal person, right? Kids in the Hall producer comes along. We want to film this at your house. This is how much we offer. Great. Awesome. Absolutely. No.
What do you mean no?
Mom negotiates.
Oh God.
Mom says, oh, that's cool. How about this much? Which is higher.
Really?
Yeah.
She talked him up?
She talked him up and they said yes. So I was like, what are you doing?
Mom's amazing. That is so ballsy. That's so cool.
So they're doing it end of May. It looks like a 3-day shoot, but only one day they're shooting. 1 day's prep and second day is like post-production or whatever. I have here. So I don't know what this means. Maybe you can interpret it for me. Scott Thomas's character, quote, lives here. They're doing a garage sale scene in the driveway and they'll be here for 2 days.
Oh no!
He's gonna come into the house to practice his lines. So there you go.
Oh God, is he gonna be the only member there then? Is it just his
probably
scene?
Not, but I don't know. I don't have any other information for you.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Glenn, right, from Superstore.
So this is yes, I'm very familiar with the Glenn Sturgeon character. He's from Ottawa. The actor. I forget his actual name, but I know the actor is from Ottawa.
Yeah, Mark McKinney.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan. A lot of that stuff, I don't think it doesn't translate now, right? You watch some of the Kids in the Hall stuff and it's goofy and it's pretty funny, but it was very 90s. Like, it's no different than if you watched, anything from the 90s. It's like, it doesn't necessarily.
It's its own time tomb. Yeah.
However, man, they really pushed the CBC. I think that's one thing that they always did, is that their show was really on an edge that was like, boy, I don't know if we can put this on. I'm sure the censors had a lot of work to do when they made their show.
No kidding. God.
Yeah. Well, that's super cool. So do you have any intention of trying to get any kind of autograph?
I think I might wander over. I think we might go over on the day and just kind of be walking by type of thing and say, oh, maybe sign my hat, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh,
maybe I can get you something. Would you like something?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. We'll talk off the air.
Okay.
I would love to get a little something signed. Would be
Something
nice.
signed.
Yeah, I'm not an autograph guy, but I mean, those guys are so cool. I love it. And if Cancer Boy could sign without his marrow hurting, that would be great.
I'll see what I can do.
All right. I'm Corey.
And I'm Glenn Sturgeon.
And this was the ISOcast.